Hey everybody, it's me, Amelia. Welcome back to my channel, Millennial and Menopause. This episode is part 2 of a series that I'm doing on body acceptance post-hysterectomy. If you didn't get a chance to watch the first one, pause here and go back and watch the first one. In this episode, I'll be talking about nutrition and well-being. As a disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. All of the information that I provide is based off of research that I have done as well as personal experience. So I encourage you to seek out medical professional help with your primary care doctors, gynecologists, nutritionists, dietitians, whomever that you have in your professional care circle to help you and guide you through anything that you're going through in your body. In part 1 of this series, I talked about weight management and also joint pain and provided you with some tips to help you manage and work through that part of your body acceptance journey. In part 2, I'm going to be talking about nutrition and well-being and talk about some trends that are happening now in 2022 as it relates to your nutrition. As I was doing my research for this video, I kind of wrote down some of the trends that I have been seeing on social media and the blogs and all types of different articles that I have been reading to determine what I think are some of the trends in 2022 when it comes to nutrition. And lo and behold, my list upheld with a lot of what other nutritionists and dietitians were putting on their list as well for the top trends. Now, I will say some of the things that are trending now have pretty much been out there for quite some time. But I think with COVID hitting in 2019, I think it put everyone into like a frenzy of really trying to work on your health. I mean, we were shut in for quite some time. Then we were let out. Then we were, then it's like the mask, the vaccine, not to vaccine, boosting immune system, fake news. I mean, it was so much happening. And so what I saw was like everyone was really gaining towards the health arena. So fitness, you see a plethora of fitness videos. A lot of people gained weight, a lot of people lost weight, a lot of people really started focusing on how can I help myself so that I won't get COVID, or if I was to get COVID, I can take care of myself naturally and not experience as many side effects as others have experienced. And so with that being said, the first trend, and I mean, this has been trending for some time, but I'm telling you, 2022, but definitely last year, plant-based eating, okay? So I read this article and they called it plant-forward eating, and it's kind of different than plant-based. I'm going to link the articles that I am going to be referencing in the description so that you can take a look for yourself. So pretty much the plant-forward eating or plant-based eating is really eating more vegetables, eating more fruits, things from the earth. Okay, so you see a lot of companies now have incredible burgers, you have bean burgers, you have Impossible chicken nuggets, Impossible, everything, y'all. I mean, it's Impossible everything. And so that is trending and more people are leading towards that route of eating. Now with plant-based eating, it doesn't mean that you only or solely can eat plant-based. A lot of people who are plant-based also still eat meat, but they eat lean meats. And so I'm just going to read something from this article that I found. It says, you can absolutely eat a plant-forward diet by enjoying a serving of lean meat, like a flank steak, a piece of grilled chicken, or baked salmon. The premise is to make the majority of your plate or about 50% of plants. Then adding in healthy fats, whole grains, lean protein can help make up the rest. And so with that style of eating, it's just really boosting up your body to function in a better way than focusing on meat. It can help in so many different areas of your body. It can help with losing weight because your body is getting enough nutrients to boost your metabolism, to help you give you the energy that you need to exercise more. It's also providing you with the fibers that you need in your body to help it function. And so plant-based, for me personally, if I was going to lead in a direction, it would be more plant-based or plant-forward eating. The next trending item, as you all know, is vegan or vegetarian. Now, I'm going to tell you this much. I did not know that there was a difference between vegan and vegetarian, but apparently it is a difference. This article that I'm going to be reading from is from Medical News Today, and this is on vegetarian diet and also the vegan diet. So the first one is the vegetarian diet. There are various types of vegetarian: lacto-vegetarian, fruitarian vegetarian, lacto-ovo vegetarian, living food diet vegetarian, ovo vegetarian, pesco vegetarian, and semi-vegetarian. The majority of vegetarians are lacto-ovo vegetarians. In other words, they do not eat animal-based foods except for eggs, dairy, and honey. Studies over the last few years have shown that vegetarians have a lower body weight, suffer less from disease, and typically have a longer life expectancy than people who eat meat. And then I'm going to move right on into the vegan diet. Veganism is more of a way of life and philosophy than a diet. A vegan does not eat anything that is animal-based, including eggs, dairy, and honey. Vegans do not usually adopt veganisms just for health reasons, but also for environmental, ethical, and compassionate reasons. Vegans believe that modern intensive farming methods are bad for our environment and unsustainable in the long term. If anybody ate plant-based food, the environment would benefit. Animals would suffer less, more food would be produced, and people would generally enjoy better physical and mental health. This is what vegans say. So there you have it, vegan and vegetarian. Again, I will link this article in the description. Our next trending lifestyle nutrition change is high fat and low carbs. Now, you hear a lot of people say, I'm cutting out carbs. I'm not adding carbs into my diet. I don't want to eat anything with carbs in it. Here's the thing. Carbs are good and bad. It's how much you eat and the way you eat them. So although you hear a lot of this saying to stay away from it, there's really no need to avoid carbs completely. Carbs are nutrient dense and provide balance due to vitamin B, which provides energy. So don't put carbs down all the way, y'all, okay? You can have some carbs with a well-balanced diet. So again, if you're going plant-based, if you're going one of these, different veganisms, that will allow you to eat some type of carb, it is okay. It's all in how much you eat and, what you're eating and how much you're eating. Let's have some balance here. The next nutrition trend is immune support foods. Like I said at the beginning, when COVID hit in 2019, the whole thing was about immune boosting. What can I do to boost my immune system? So everyone was looking for all types of, into vitamin C, different types of supplements, vitamin C, looking into vitamin D, and all these different things. But we were also forgetting not just supplements. Supplements were flying off the shelves, but you get a lot of your immune fighting nutrients and minerals from fruits and vegetables. So it's very important to keep up with your supplements, but it's also important to keep up with fruits and vegetables. Eating your supplements is a lot more potent and better than it is to take a supplement anyway, because a lot of times the supplements that we're taking don't have as much of what we need in them to give us the energy that we need. So really look more into your fruits and vegetables. But this is a trend for 2022. The next trend is smoothies and juicing. And I must say I am on it, okay? Now smoothies, I've been doing smoothies for some years now. That's nothing new to me. But again, because when COVID hit, a lot of people were trying to change up their lifestyles. So it kind of goes into the immune boosting as well, because all of the smoothies that you use are fruits and veggies, and so can fight or help to boost your immune system. I recently got into juicing and I love it. I did post, I think 2 videos. No, I did 1 video. I posted a video with me making some turmeric shots. So I make turmeric shots. I started like juicing celery and beets and really looking into a lot of different things that I can do to help with my immune system, but also to help fight inflammation in the body, give you more energy, and a lot of times you won't have to take some of the supplements that you're taking because you're getting so much of it from your juicing or your smoothies. So again, all up to you what you want to start implementing into your journey. The next trending item, and I know you've heard it, I see it just about in my feed. I honestly see something about this maybe every 2 to 3 swipes, and it's intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting just kind of like popped out and bloomed and came out of nowhere. If you are a believer, or even there are other religions that also do fasting, and the fasting that we do is for a different purpose, right? So we fast, and our fasting is because maybe we're trying to turn down our plates to hear from God, to really focus on the Lord, to meditate more on the Lord, and to get a deeper, closer connection with the Lord. However, so intermittent fasting is different, because intermittent fasting is for the purpose of losing weight, or managing or maintaining weight, and even getting your body back to taking a break from fasting. Pretty much is taking a break from like food, taking a break from, you constantly putting something in your body. When you fast, your body actually replenishes. It begins to like go through a cycle of almost like a cleansing cycle. It's like you're detoxing, because a lot of times you're drinking a lot of water. Some people do the fasting and they do juice. And so all of toxins are being removed from the body. And even though it feels like you get weaker before you get the first 2 to 3 days are a lot if you're fasting like that, a regular fast. But with intermittent fasting, there are different types of intermittent fasting. I hope you're keeping up, and I hope I'm not rambling too much. But with intermittent fasting, there are different ways to intermittent fast. I think when people say, oh, I'm intermittent fasting, you're just kind of making it up as you go. It's very important to work with a trained professional when it comes to intermittent fasting, because not all fasting styles are for you, believe it or not. And this was something very interesting, because I didn't know that, I personally just didn't know that there were that many ways to do intermittent fasting. Nor did I know I didn't know that it can actually hold you back as well. Sometimes it can hold you back from the progress because you're not really eating what you're supposed to be eating. You're not breaking the fast appropriately, which impacts the way that your body is receiving the nutrients that it needs. So it's very important to talk to a nutritionist or dietitian about intermittent fasting and what ways you can do intermittent fasting and what you're going to be eating while you are intermittent fasting. Because listen, people, you can't say I'm not going to eat between the hours of 6 a.m. to like 12, right? 6 a.m. to like 12 noon, and then you go and have a burger, or you go and have pizza, or you go and have some type of, a sub or something like that. You have to break your fast to allow your body to do what it needs to do. Because when you shock your body with all that food, it's almost like breakfast. When you have breakfast, when you wake up in the morning and people eat like pizza and like leftover lunch or something, they have that for breakfast, you're not doing your body any good. You're actually going to run out of energy quicker. The purpose of it is for you to gain energy and for your body to be able to function and help you move throughout the day. And also to help you lose the weight that you would like to lose, and also maintain that weight so that you don't plateau, or that you don't have this rigorous up and down weight gain and weight loss. I decided to talk about nutrition and well-being after the first segment with weight loss and joint pain, because when you're talking about body acceptance, like I said before in my first video, I was saying the first thing you think is weight. And so you can talk about, you have to love yourself and take care of yourself and go to the doctor. But the other things are, nutrition does play a big role. And people don't understand it is very important to have the proper menu in place, to buy the proper products or items that you need, to think about meal prepping, and also getting your mind set up in the right place to begin this journey. I know that I'm not experiencing probably as much weight gain as others may be experiencing. We all have our own specific journeys. And this is me speaking to anyone who is, whether it be menopause or just in your life in general. Our bodies are ever changing. We all go through different stressors in our lives that cause us to lose or cause us to gain weight. We have different medical conditions that cause us to lose or cause us to gain weight. And my purpose and what I wanted to do with this series is to bring awareness to that and to help you to understand that it's not your fault, and there's a way to get through it and to get past it. Some people, the nutrition part is going to work perfectly for them. You're going to be able to exercise, implement exercising, change up your eating style, and that is going to work for you. For others, it's going to take more. It's going to take you going to your doctor, checking out, you may have thyroid issues, you may be dealing with PCOS, you may be dealing with any other type of hereditary issues, diabetes, anything that's causing you that is a hindrance in your weight loss process. And so it's going to take a lot more for you. So some of the things that I talk about with the lifestyle eating, that might not work as quickly for you. Some, you may have to have weight loss surgery. And that's something that you really have to discuss with the doctor, really discuss even with the therapist, to try to get yourself in that frame of mind that this is what I want to do, and to stick with whatever plan that those medical professions have for you. Weight loss isn't easy. For most of us here who are dealing with these conditions that cause us to gain weight and we're trying to lose it and also keep it off, it could be a little bit more trickier. But in my last video, I said that you need to surround yourself with a community, and I'm going to say it again, and I'll probably say it throughout in every one of my videos. You might hear me talking about having a community and also seeing a therapist. because it's very important for you to take care of yourself. It's all about your mindset. If you are around people who are negative, who are always talking about, things that are bringing you down or make you feel less than yourself, asking you questions about, so when are you going to lose this weight? And da da da. It's going to internally make you feel like you're a loser, like you haven't been doing all that you can to get this off. Versus the people who are in your circle, the people who understand what's going on, they know just how to approach you. They know exactly how to encourage you. And that's important when it comes to this journey, even when it comes to the eating. There are going to be days that you don't want to juice, that you don't want to stay on track. You're going to want a candy bar. You're going to want a slice of cake. You're going to want certain things. I said in my last video, it's okay. Have the candy bar, have the ice cream. Don't go overboard with it. Make this journey as pleasant and helpful as possible. Of course, if you're having a weight loss surgery, there are things you absolutely cannot have. So don't listen to me on that part. You talk to your doctors about that. And even talk to your nutritionist. If your nutritionist says don't have any sugar, then don't have any sugar. For me, right now, I don't need a medical professional, meaning like I'm not necessarily on the road of, I need to bring in a doctor to figure this out. I am seeking, however, my primary care doctor did suggest that I do a detox system, but I want to do a detox program with her versus doing a detox program like on my own that I have no clue about. That's not really the best way to detox. Which brings me into that. Don't get caught up in fads. Don't get caught up on the new trends when it comes to weight loss. Please be careful of what you put into your body. Very important to please be careful of what you put into your body. I get it. There are teas out there. There are shakes out there that say, oh, you can lose this weight. Now, it's not to say that you can't lose the weight. You definitely can. But when it comes to things where are like laxatives, please be careful, because understand, once your body becomes used to something that is forcing you to have bowel movements, your body begins to get used to that. And it actually causes your muscles in your body and in your bowels not to function unless you have that item. You have a lot of people who abuse laxatives who now have to use and in this abuse, if they abuse the laxative. I'm not saying if you use a laxative, it's used too often. They've had, ostomies, which is where you have to get your intestines some kind of way, like they have to split the intestines, and you have like a pouch on the side of your stomach because your body is no longer able to process digestion any longer. And that's an extreme. That is completely an extreme. And I'm not saying, this will happen to you, but it's very important for you to be careful. A lot of people who take certain items or who are using certain items aren't using them as often as you think. And they're doing other things as well. And so you have to understand Instagram or social media versus real life. And some people are showing you this and they're doing other things here. There may be, on their feed, they're taking something and they're showing you how to use it, and here they're doing something else. Or they're not using it as often as you think they're using it. People have to post if they are using a product and they're being paid for something. They have to post as often to continue to gain that contract that they have with whomever they're doing the contract with, to keep it. They have to post so that they can get more income because you're using their codes and all this stuff. No shade to the people that's out there hustling and getting their thing, but it's very important to educate people about items that are being used. But it's important for you to figure out what is best for your body, what is good for you, what is going to keep you healthy. Because when you start taking certain things, it can affect your well-being, not just your bowel movements, but it can affect your heart. It can affect your lungs, the way you breathe. It can affect all different areas of your body, and it can cause them to shut down. And it's just because of maybe one pill you took or one tea you drink or whatever the case may be. Be mindful of the labels. Pay attention to what's in these. Make sure you're not allergic to them. Pay attention to how it makes you feel and how it makes your body feel, your heart, everything else. There are things that have a lot of caffeine in them. Please be careful. When it comes to people, companies thrive off of people who want to lose weight, because that's like the number one thing that people need help in is losing weight. But it's all about nutrition, not just losing weight. It's nutrition, and it's also mental. It's helping. It's you getting yourself in a mental state as to saying, this is what I want to do and this is why I want to do it. It's dealing with, a lot of times it's dealing with trauma that you have been through. So for women who have been through hysterectomy, that's a trauma. That's dealing with trauma, dealing with past trauma in your life. You could be an emotional eater, and that emotional eating could have became because you were abused. It could have came because you had, someone close to you passed away. And so the only way for you to deal with something was for you to eat. A lot of times we think all of this happens just because I'm predisposed to it, or I'm just fat. And it's not the case. There's so many factors that play a role in our body makeup. Yes, it's genetics, of course, but there's so many things. And when you can't seem to want to, I don't want to say take care of yourself, but to eat a balanced meal, you just want to eat bad all the time, there's something there. 9 times out of 10, there's something there. It's not just because you want good food or you want to eat, you just want to eat good because vegetables are good. Like, it depends on how you cook it. Like all these meals, it depends on how you cook it. It depends on how you prepare it, what you put inside of it that makes it good. You have to figure out what taste is it that you're going to give it, the flavor, the spin that you're going to put on it to make it taste good, Because let me tell you something. I never thought I would be able to eat beets. First of all, I don't like beets. I had beets before. I hate beets. So I had juiced beets, and I had to add some things in there to make it taste like, I like this. So, same thing with celery juice. To take that twang, or I don't even know what to call it, that taste out of it, you have to add things to it to make it taste good. So before you start this journey, I want you to really consider getting a journal and really processing your thoughts about what's happening in your life and what's happening with your body. What is it making you feel like? What things are triggering you? And how you want to move forward. Where do you see yourself in a month? A lot of people are like, where do you see yourself in a year? Let's go with month to month. In fact, we can even go from day to day. Where do you see yourself tomorrow? And if you don't make that goal, what do you think? How do you think that would make you feel? How do you think that would make you feel? And how can you overcome, if it's a negative feeling, how can you overcome that feeling? It's very important that through this process, or any process when it comes to body acceptance and understanding your body, your physical body, understanding yourself spiritually, understanding yourself mentally, is where you stand in your life. How do you see yourself and how do you talk to yourself? So if you're a believer, a scripture comes to mind from Psalms 39, verse 13 and 14. For it was you who created my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I will praise you because I have been fearfully and wonderfully made. There are other versions that say beautifully and wonderfully made. And I want you to take this and I want you to read this to yourself. I want you to take this, write it down in your journal. Read this to yourself every day, post it somewhere, put it somewhere. Because that to me is encouragement, because we have been through some things in our lives that have been traumatic, that have been wonderful, that have been like overwhelming. We have been through so much in our lives, right? But all in all, He has created us to be fearfully and wonderfully made, beautifully and wonderfully made. And in this journey, we must learn to take care of the bodies that we were given. Taking care of us because we want to. You have to want to see yourself in a different place. But there's so many people who are just confused and not sure, how to deal with post-hysterectomy, and if this is ever going to change, or anything like that. And so again, get into a community, really start doing some inner healing work, and start with an apple. I don't know, start with the fruit, start with the smoothie, start with the juicer, start with juicing, start somewhere. When you start somewhere and you start writing and you start just moving, going for a walk for 30 minutes, then you move to jogging, then you're eating, a chicken breast with like vegetables. You start there and then it grows into other recipes and you start seeing changes. You're talking more positive to yourself. You're writing out declarations to yourself and that you read. You are praying more. You are allowing God to speak to your heart more. You are removing people out of your life who didn't need to be there to begin with, who are causing you more pain and stress. You are just detoxifying not just your inner, you are detoxifying your life as well. And sometimes that's a whole nother thing, but that plays a big, huge role in your body acceptance as well. Your whole body. You have to detox from inside out. And you have to detox from outside. You have to detox that outside as well. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was a help. I hope it was help for you. So to go over, I think there were like 6 trends, and those trends were plant-forward eating or plant-based eating, vegan and veganism. 3 was high fat and low carbs. Number 4 was immune support foods. Number 5 was smoothies and juicing. Number 6 was intermittent fasting. And so I'm going to post these links are going to be to different articles, will be in the description. You can go ahead, take a look, read them, check them out, and see what you think, what may be working for you. That way you have something to go into your visit to your nutritionist or to your doctor's appointments. You're able to talk freely and know exactly what you may want to start working towards. Stay tuned for part 3 of body acceptance. And until next time, ladies, be blessed, bold, and beautiful. Bye.